number 4, I kind of thought about like a wall of blue sticky notes, but every sticky is a slightly different shade of blue, but they're all blue. And the thing that I learned is you are not a perfect fit for everybody, and vice versa. Not everybody is a perfect fit for you. So I had 2 stories that I wanted to share. One where it kind of had a pretty simple ending, and the other one didn't really have a simple ending. So there was one athlete that I was working with, pretty young, and I remember, without really thinking too much about it, I wanted them to do a squat. I wanted them to do a plank for as long as they could. So on the sheet, I wrote down perform until failure, or hold until failure, smiley face or something. And at the time, they came up to me afterwards and they said, Juha, after I do this, does that make me a failure? If I can hold it for 30 seconds, am I a failure? If I can hold it for 1 minute, am I a failure? And I kind of had to realize, like, oh yeah, sorry, the way I was looking at it, I can see why the word failure could be discouraging when you hear it in that context. So, I mean, just for that athlete, the simple solution was saying to hold it as long as you can, rather than saying holding it till failure. And although that's a very subtle thing, that's a very small thing, those are things that are actually really important, because you don't want to put people in a situation where they feel like they're not being set up for success. And if someone's going to do a plank and they feel discouraged by the time, then try and word yourself in a way that it makes them feel good. For example, if you're having somebody hold a plank for as long as they can, if they're performing it at the end of their workout, please precursor to them that, hey, we're doing it at the end of the workout, you're already tired, you're already sweating, you have already worked a lot, you are not going to hold it as long as you would if we did this fresh before the workout. Just put it in their mind. So when they think they had an extra 30 seconds in the tank, admit to themselves, yeah, you definitely would have had more time if we put it at the beginning of the workout, but we did it when you're tired. So change your expectations. So that is more important than I thought it would be. And then on the flip side, there was a different athlete that I was working with, and they were performing squats, and they said that they were feeling some pain in their lower back when they were doing the squats. And so they asked me about it, and I said, okay, during your next set, change this thing. So like change this one thing and focus on this one thing, and then let me know how it went. And then I was attending some other athletes because it was a group. And then so I asked how that went afterwards, and they just said very briefly, oh, I didn't actually listen to what you said. I just did something different and it worked. Thank you. And at that moment, my shoulders kind of shrug. I'm like, like, what can you really do there? Like, that's disappointing. And so the reason why I said you're not a perfect fit for everybody and everybody is not a perfect fit for you, because clearly in that moment, something had happened to that person to where we maybe lost some trust. I didn't do something that session or a week prior or 6 months prior. I lost some semblance of trust to where when I gave them feedback to help with something, they just ignored me. And so that's where, at the end of the day, if you are with a client that you're not necessarily seeing eye to eye with everything, you kind of just have to look at, I mean, one, you could ask if you are the right person for them, or if you could transfer them in, have them move to a different trainer, have them move with another professional if your facility allows that. But if you're the only available trainer in that department for that facility for them to work with, yeah, it's just tough. Like, at the end of the day, all you can do is do your best, and if someone isn't willing to be receptive to the advice that you're giving them, because this is not a friendship. This is not one buddy talking to another buddy. This is a professional giving some advice to a client. And if that client is not receptive enough to listen to what the professional is saying, obviously there has been some break of trust there, but at the end of the day, like, all you can do is try your best, and if they're not receptive to it, like, you just have to live with their choice. You just have to live with it. So